remember the screen's backwards. 7-Eleven. We are at the 7-Eleven, and the table is crooked, so it kind of bounces whenever I touch it. But it is morning coffee time. Serious morning coffee time. Sometimes one is not enough. So my last little livey live thing I did, was that yesterday or the day before, whenever it was? I don't even know. Somebody needs new brakes. We were on an island somewhere on an island. Of course, everything here is an island, but there's a big island and there's a small island. So what is considered your mainland is still an island. So that is that. But stirring the coffee and see if I can adjust this just a little bit. Okay, I think that's a little better. Okay, so they've got the coffee and the creamer, and like you go to a convenience store in America, you have all your flavored creamers, your sugar, your Splenda, your whatever. Not so here. You get the coffee, and then you have to go up to the counter and you have to beg and plead to get them to give you cream and sugar. And then you make 2 coffees and you get to the counter and they say, this is all we have, no stock, not enough cream and sugar for 2 coffees. After they sold you 2 coffees. How much of that is truth, I don't know. How much of that is them just trying to limit how much cream and sugar they're handing out, I don't know. The 7-Elevens here, I mean, it's all franchised. It's all franchised. So whoever the franchisee tries to set the rules for everything. And you got to be careful because some of the 7-Eleven franchisees, they're dishonest. They'll try to work you over and scam you. And corporate 7-Eleven won't do anything about it. It's just kind of sort of par for the course here. But I went to, a few months back, I went to a different 7-Eleven and there was some weird kind of potato chips. So I was going to buy them just to try them to see what it tastes like. And half the things on the shelves here, there's no prices. No prices. So I get up to the counter and I go to ring up this bag of chips just to try something, just to see whatever. And the little bag of chips rings up the equivalent of like $4. And so I said no. Delete is no. Delete is no. So I said no, take that off. And the cashier at the 7-Eleven wouldn't do it. So he goes and has to go and talk to his manager, who is also a politician. So that tells you something right there. But so they try to say that, they try to tell me that once they ring it up on the register, that they can't void it out, they can't take it off. And I looked at him and I said, I haven't bought anything. I said, I will walk right out of the store, and then what you're going to do, you're going to void the whole order. So you take that bag of chips off or I walk away. And he took the bag of chips off. But I could hear the manager, politician lady in the background telling him, don't void stuff for people. Once it's on there, you try to make them buy it, something to that effect. And it's just dirty business. But the funny thing is that they just had elections here, and she was running for a position, and she lost. Somebody else won, so that because of that made me smile a little bit. So little things in life. But this is just a breakfast stop, and by breakfast I mean coffee, exclusively coffee. Quick coffee stop. And stayed the night last night just on the side of the highway. A little bit of road noise, but it wasn't too terribly bad. But where I think there's looking at the maps, going that way, looks like there's some waterfalls. So if we can find that, then to make you guys some videos on that. But you won't be able to live stream for these waterfalls. Most of them are off the beaten path. You got to go down the roads, and you're not going to have internet service, things like that. So that will be videos. But we are just hanging in, hanging out. A sip of coffee, not enough cream, not enough sugar. It's got the caffeine though, got the caffeine. But they've got a machine there. It's fresh ground coffee. The coffee grounds to the top of the machine, and it brews them when you order. But I don't know that the coffee beans are actually fresh. I don't know. But not enough cream, not enough sugar. And here's a little rant. These things, these little coffee stir straws. Whoever invented these things should be strung up on a rope. They don't work. And you put them in your coffee, they just get hot and they're flexible, so they don't really stir anything. But so whoever invented these, I don't like you. But it's all good. But this is just the standard little 7-Eleven here. 7-Elevens here don't really have gas stations, very few of them. But that's 7-Eleven, and then there's a gas station over there, and hanging out. Another interesting thing here in the Philippines, little bit crooked table. So you're gonna you come to 7-Eleven, you can buy beer, alcohol, stuff like that. But people will come here and they'll hang out on tables out in front of 7-Eleven, and they just hang out and they drink their beers. Try that in America. You'll be calling someone to throw your bail or ticket or something. Public intoxication, but so in those regards, things like that, that's a lot more liberal here, shall we say? But anyways, I got here and I pulled up to stop potty break coffee, and my fridge in the van starts beep like every 30 seconds or whatever. It's just beeping at me, and I check, it keeps on off on off on off, and I check my inverter and it's on off on off on off. So I don't know if a wire came loose going down a bumpy road, or if something's happening with the Dali BMS that's in there. I don't know, but it just keeps resetting and shut off, reset, shut off. And so it's starting to rain now, just a little bit, so probably not a good time to play with electricity. So I'm gonna go down the road, gonna look for a waterfall, and I have no power in the van. Howdy, good morning, good evening again. Yeah, evening over there. I was just saying that my power's messing up in the van this morning. Fridge shut off, BMS shut off, everything is shutting down. So I'm on a trip to go look for waterfalls, and I have no power in the van. And it's raining, but I'm at the 7-Eleven here. They have 7-Elevens, and I have coffee, and they ran out of cream and sugar, so there's only a little bit of cream and only a little bit of sugar, so it's not the best coffee, but it is coffee. But yeah, headed south towards the equator, and most of the roads bring me batteries. I got the solar panels, bring me batteries. But the headed south towards the equator, and the way that a lot of these islands are, at least here anyways, you have a perimeter road that goes around, and then you'll have interior roads that go off that perimeter road that go into the hills, into the forest, into the jungles. So we're gonna go down and keep skirting the coast, skirting the coast. If I find anything interesting, I'll stop, take a look at that. But there's supposed to be a waterfall. If the map is right, there's a waterfall that we're going to look for that I haven't been to yet. So we get there, we'll film something. I've got the drone with me, so as long as the rain holds off, see how that works out. Do some aerial video. But that is the plan for the day. A fly has found me. What I'm going to do with the van is I'm not going to have power. I'm not going to have, until I get that sorted out, but it's starting to rain, so I might not be able to get to it today. But I've got to open everything up. I got to see if it's a wire, if it's a fuse, if it's what. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I did the battery setup. And the problem with bringing friends with is they want you to pay their way because no one here has money. So sometimes it's better just to go by yourself. But no, no, it runs. It's just my power. It's power from. They ride around with tricycles selling stuff with loudspeakers, so sometimes you just have to stop. But it's the power to my fridge, power to my fans, power to rice cooker, water kettle, all that stuff. That's what's down right now. The van's good. Hopefully that'll stay that way. Catch a flight, zoom. It's about 30 hours, 28, 30 hours, something like that. But from where my van is, money. From where my van is in America. So from where my van is from America, from here you have to take you have to fly to, from wherever you're at, you have to fly to Manila for international. Then you got to go to Manila. It's usually going to take you to LA, and then you'll take another flight from LA. See, I would go to Salt Lake City, and then from Salt Lake City, they used to have a bus service that will go into Nevada. They canceled that. So now from there, you either rent a car one way, and if you rent a car one way from Salt Lake City and you leave it in the middle of Nevada, you're going to pay more money for that rental car than you did to fly across the ocean, which is crazy. So what you have to do is you have to, from Salt Lake City, you're going to get an Amtrak, and then you're going to go west into Nevada, and there's the Amtrak. The Amtrak, it's about 25-30 miles is where the station or the drop-off is. It's not really a station. It's just a chain link fence gate where they drop you. And from there, it's about 30 miles to the van. So you're looking at a very expensive cab ride, or you're going to wait to try to find like an Uber or a Lyft, something like that. And I did try that one time, and I get these limited availability warnings, like there's no drivers, because I mean it's out in the middle of nowhere. Why would anyone want to drive out there unless they're going to make a lot of money? And I don't think the Lyft and Uber, I don't think make as much money as a cab, so they don't have the incentive to drive way out in the boondocks to take you where you got to go. But I gotta shave them first. Oh, that's another thing. Like here in the Philippines, finding good razors to shave is really hard, because most of the people here in the Philippines, they don't have a lot to shave. They don't have a lot of facial hair. Like even the women, most of them have, I mean, the little bit of hair they have on their legs, some of them don't even have to shave. And so there's just very little heavy-duty shaving here. So it's hard to find a good razor. If you're lucky, you can find a twin blade, but like a three blade or anything, a good razor, almost impossible to find. You got to order those and send in. You go to the stores, here, and they also don't sell shaving cream. So you got to use soap or whatever, but a good shaving cream for sensitive skin, not gonna happen. So that's another challenge here. But okay, so Amazon, right? Yeah. The Amazon, Amazon does deliver here, but there's only so much stuff. There's only a select few things that they actually deliver, and I do order for them. But like my last Amazon order, I ordered multivitamins, uh, 6 months supply of multivitamins or whatever it was, maybe longer than that. I don't know. It was 4 bottle. Noisy motors. It was a four bottle order of yes, U.S. shavers, sir. Yeah, 100%. But so I ordered multivitamins on Amazon. It's a 4 bottle order, and they sent me 1 bottle. And the reason I ordered 4 bottles is $50 free shipping. That's the minimum you have to hit. You have to spend $50 to get the free shipping over here on Amazon. So I ordered a bunch of vitamins. Unless you die, you're going to use them, and if you die, then who cares about a few extra vitamins? But they only sent me the one. They're really good about it, though. I sent them information back, and they straight razor. I don't know. That's brave. They some of the barbers here. Some of the barbers here use straight razors on their customers, and I have flashbacks to that Sweeney Todd movie, and but they'll use straight razors, or they'll use like the little double-edged razors, but they're just by hand. And I just picture blood in my brain. They've never cut me. They've done very good. They have never cut me, but I've seen enough movies, so you think of razor blades. But that's not bad. But a haircut here. Yeah. The haircut here for a guy's haircut, a standard guy's haircut in the Philippines will cost you $1 or $1.50. That is the price, unless if you go into a mall, or if you're in the big cities. Then I've seen where a men's haircut sometimes $3. Could be more, but that's what I've seen. It's more expensive for a woman, like in America, a woman with long hair. If you're special treatments, things like that gets expensive. But just for a guy's haircut, you can go almost any street corner. You can find someone that'll cut your hair for $1. But they haven't been to barber school. They have not been to barber school. So you're going to get what you get, but when you walk out of there, you remember that haircut only cost you $1. And the other thing they don't have is when you go to America. When you go to America, in between your haircuts, they've got that disinfectant chemicals that they put everything in. All your brushes and everything are soaked in there. They don't do that here. That brush you're using, everything you're using goes from one head to the next head to the next. So they don't have that. Vehicles are noisy here. They don't disinfect all the combs and the brushes and everything from one person to the next. So you have to grit your teeth and accept that, because that's how it is, or you're cutting your own hair. And but the germs are always free. But the sanitary stuff here, I mean, aside from things like that, like the hand washing and stuff like that, they're really good. They're really good. I've not heard of anyone having a case of head lice here. I've been out here almost 3 years. I haven't heard of any cases of that. So I don't know. But when I get my haircut, then I go home and I double shampoo. But it's all good. I didn't shout out to Kat. I saw you here. Hey, how's it going? See, it's summertime, so you're probably got a lot of work going on the farm, and people are looking at me funny. Any kind of body fluid is scary, but like the razors, the razors that they use, the little double-edged razors, that's a one-use thing. They throw those away after that. But like the scissors and the combs, that goes one head to the next. But again, if you're going to come to a place like this, you have to, hey, tell her I said hi. If you're going to come to a place like this, there's certain things you have to accept. But I was going on to something a minute ago. That's what, hay doesn't make you any money. A lot of hay for a little pay or something like that. I think there's a song title in there somewhere. But I am getting ready to hit the road in a minute. The weather's looking okay. I think people want my table. They're looking at me funny, either because I'm talking to a camera or because I'm a foreigner or because they want this table. I don't know. One of those. Take your pick. But anyways, third try on this. The sanitary stuff they keep up on. And I think part of that is because nobody wants to get sick here because the healthcare not the best in the world. So everyone's going to take precautions to stay clean, stay safe, not get sick, not spread germs. Partly because of that, I think. I have not interviewed anyone, but that's what I think it is. I think that's what it is. But I will be careful. I'm gonna head on down the road and then get a dry patch. Then I'll see what I can figure out with my batteries, and I'm gonna go look for a waterfall to make a video. So I will catch you guys down the road. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, y'all. Stay safe. It's been almost 3 years. I mean, I came back. I came back to America, and then I came back again. But overall, I think it's been close to 3 years. And so it's been a minute. But I'm gonna head off here. I'm gonna jump off here. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you guys later. Take care.